The Chinette brand is an amazing partner here for LadyGang. You know them, you love them. It's time to be the holiday season and we're going to be having so many gatherings. And if you're like me and you don't have a kitchen, or if you just want the easiest cleanup of your life, that's when the Chinette brand really comes into play. They have their classic line, which is durable, no bends, no leaks, microwave safe, made with at least 80% recycled materials and made in the USA. And then if you want to go to the eleganza, you can get the crystal, Chinette crystal, which is so beautiful. It's shatterproof. It has this swirl design that makes it look amazing. And everything's made in the USA except the cutlery and the wine glasses. So that's amazing. And then, of course, the Chinette Comfort, which I've been using a ton of, 12 ounce or 16 ounce, whatever size you need for your coffee. Such easy cleanup. Make your holiday gatherings less stressful. They are durable enough to hold the sauciest ribs, the most delicious turkey, the biggest pile of mashed potatoes, and we're going to be eating it all. Visit mychinette.com to find out more.
Close to our heart is the belief that ladies give back and show up for others. Right now, there are over 300 million women and girls that live in period poverty across the world. And without period care, they often stop going to school and miss out on economic opportunities. So we're showing up for them. We've partnered with SALT Sustainable Period Care AB Corp with a 2% give back mission to donate period care and help fund initiatives in menstrual health. So each time you buy with LadyGang at shop.theladygang.com, you're helping give girls in need planet-saving period care, so when their periods start, their education doesn't have to stop. Plus, go to salt.com/pages/LadyGang for your own period care and get 15% off with code LadyGang.
Well, what is this?
Welcome to the Lady Gang.
That's amazing. Say that again.
The Lady Gang.
Things are about to change around here.
Each week we catch up with Hollywood's hottest girl posse, Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Lady Gang. I am Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Kelty Knight.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone. Well, I just wanted everyone to know that I'm in New York City and I failed, so I'm on my phone. And so if I sound less warm than I normally am, just know that I'm having an existential crisis about it inside.
And you did. Kelty took apart her entire mic to bring to New York. She was literally like
Ready.
Tim the Toolman Taylor taking apart this mic to make sure that she got it to New York so she sounded good. And then here we are.
Here we are.
Well, you know what? We always get 90% there.
Always 90. The other 10 is always difficult.
Okay. Well, I hope that we give 100% in this next section of the podcast.
We will.
Time for
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
I'm just dreaming about a giant meal this week.
Thanksgiving.
I'm so fucking excited.
Hell yes.
I'll kick us off. My good week is that before leaving for the holidays, I was getting really frustrated. I was living in my car and running so many errands every week. And I just was getting to the point where I'm so frustrated. I'm sick and tired of it doing it. It's dry cleaning. It's alterations. It's picking up prescriptions. It's going to the post office. And so you know what? I took some notes out of my sister's book. So she's a very, very, very busy full-time working mother of two. And everyone in her law firm calls her the modern woman because she has figured out a way to outsource everything in her life. And she hasn't run an errand in years.
Wow.
So everything
It's the secret.
It's the secret. And now you don't even have to be really rich to outsource everything because there's apps for everything. So I spent an entire day before leaving for the Thanksgiving break, basically changing over all of the ways I do things. So I went back to using stamps.com. I don't know why I ever stopped. Why did I ever stop? It's the easiest thing ever.
It's the best.
I do a dry cleaners now that came and picked up my clothes and dropped them off 2 days later from my front door. I have prescriptions now. CVS just delivers them. Every time I have my new prescription, they just deliver them. I went through and really modern womanized my whole life.
Hell yeah.
And I feel freaking fantastic. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner.
Errands really stress people out. They really do. And it's for like the dumbest shit too. So it's like a nice like mental health cleanser.
Yeah. And now I'm more inclined to wear my Jenny Kane sweater that I know that has to be dry cleaned, because I know that it doesn't require me wearing the sweater and then the next day having to drive it to the dry cleaners. It means wearing the sweater and then leaving it on my front doorstep for Ian's cleaners to come get it.
Hell yes.
Thank you. Thank God for Ian.
Thank God for you, Ian. Okay. So that was my good week. My bad week is actually like, it was a good week and then it turned bad. So I had this amazing girl, Kelly Ann, do my makeup in Austin a couple months ago. She's really awesome. I've been following her on Instagram forever, and she came over, she did my makeup. It was a dream. And I was so excited to have someone in Austin. She moves to New York as soon as I get here. And I'm like, well, I have to do a home shoot, and I just hate the way that I do my own makeup. Like, Afton gave me the most amazing FaceTime makeup, but I didn't have her teach me. I fucked up and I didn't have her teach me like a photo shoot makeup look.
A look, yeah.
So I had Kellyanne FaceTime with me before the shoot, and she gave me the most intricate like contouring and highlighting and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not kidding you. I have never looked better in my life. And I'm so mad that I'm 35 and I just found out how to really make myself trick people into thinking I'm better looking than I am. I thought of all the times.
That's how I felt when I finally did my thing with Afton too. I was like, wow, it's actually this easy. And I've just been not doing these simple little tips and tricks, and I look like an ogre.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask you something? Can you tell me about how you got your eyebrows to do that?
Anastasia Brow Freeze. But here's the problem
for it.
I have been using Anastasia Brow Freeze since before my lesson with Kellyanne. It's all in her little, it's like an artist. And I really,
so they're called a makeup artist.
Yes. But it is like a freaking Picasso. The way she has these techniques, I would go to do something and she'd be like, no, you're holding the brush wrong. Like that, like I would go to put on bronzer and I would be holding like the brush, my fingers would be close to the brush, like the bristles. And I would be doing my thing. And she's like, no, scoot your fingers at the back of it, go in a circular motion into your, like up. Bring everything up. Like, she had the craziest stuff that in your mind, you're thinking, this is not going to make a fucking difference. I'm such a crazy rushed person that I just don't believe that when you take the time and spend the detail, like the attention on detail, I don't believe it pays off. And then I was fucking proved wrong. Every detail and every different thing that she taught me to do, game changer. Been using that eyebrow product for months. Never looked like that because I was hastily applying the product.
Kellyanne, doing it.
I mean, you looked beautiful.
You did look amazing.
Life.
But I feel like you've always kind of known how to do your makeup really good.
I mean, you have a very beautiful face, Becca.
Yeah, it makes
like
it
almost
easy.
like annoyingly beautiful. So even when you didn't think you looked that good, you always look beautiful. So it's really annoying. But you looked extra beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so sad that it's downhill from here. I'm just going to get uglier and uglier and wrinklier. So who's up?
That's life. I'll go. My good week is pretty simple. I love Starbucks. I go there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Starbucks by me started using paper straws, which I fucking hate. I don't want to use a plastic straw, but I sure don't want to use a paper straw because I think nothing is grosser than drinking a coffee through a paper straw. Maybe just like a smoothie might be a little bit worse through a paper straw. So recently, this week, my Starbucks started finally using compostable straws.
Yay.
They feel like plastic, but they're compostable and biodegradable. And I don't know why they haven't done this before. So applauding Starbucks. I love it. I can drink my iced coffees in peace. So
Mazel.
Good week.
It's the little things.
It is the little things. I mean, there's nothing grosser than a paper straw.
Disgusting.
I don't know why we're still using them.
Disgusting.
So my bad week is I am sick for the first time in 2 years. It is weird having a cold because you obviously think it's COVID from like the second you start having a little scratchy throat. I've taken many COVID tests. I don't have COVID. But yesterday we did a little thing for LadyGang and I texted Kelty in the morning and I was like, hey, Kelty, just to let you know, I'm sick. I don't have COVID, but like, I don't know if maybe you don't want me to come over so you don't get sick because you're going to New York. Like there's a whole thing. She goes, no, come on over. It'll be fine. And we're supposed to podcast. So I'm like, okay, I'm assuming we're going to go in different rooms because if it was me, I wouldn't want to be around her. Kelty suggests that we share a mic and we sit next to each other and breathe on each other and then share some peanut butter M&Ms from the same bag. Like Kelty does not give a about getting sick. Even if I had COVID.
That reminds me of how I used to be before COVID.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah, it's okay.
I didn't give a I remember being on an airplane with a friend of mine, and she was one of those people before COVID even happened, where if she heard someone cough or sneeze, she would look and she'd be like, oh my God, did you hear that? I'm going to get sick. And I could never understand that. I was always like, I don't care. But Kelty, it's shocking, has kept that mentality through a pandemic.
Kelty, who is immunocompromised in a way, probably should not be getting COVID, is like, oh, well, even if you have it, it's okay. You can come over and let's maybe make out a little bit.
Yeah.
Jack, that's how important you are to me. I'm willing to risk my life.
Risk it all.
So that we can be in the same room.
I really appreciate that, because unfortunately I wouldn't do the same for you.
Here's my thought is that so the only thing I care about is, can I work sick? You know what I mean? Like if I'm just hanging out, I'm going to be sick. Fine. I'll just lay on the couch. But okay, so I'm in New York now, I'm hosting the parade. What if I get sick? And then I just thought about the time that I did the entire week of the Grammys with walking pneumonia. And the doctor was like, we really need to put you in the hospital. And I was like, I'm going to wear this blue glittery dress and interview people for 6 hours straight. So, and then I think of all the times where I had something was so sick that I had no voice, like bronchitis. And then I would just go to the doctor and they'd shoot me up with a steroid giant needle in my neck and I just make it work. So maybe I'm like The Rock a little bit, where I'm like, you can't keep a good bitch down.
Is that The Rock's catchphrase?
I don't know. Okay.
Dwayne.
Anyway, it was great to see you, Jack. Thanks, Dwayne. Honestly, I really want in my life to be like Dwayne Johnson, and I'm trying to figure out how he does it, because he remembers every person's name. And I don't think someone can be that good at names. Like when he does press, he'll be like, I watched this, my friend Andrew, who works for Dish Nation, put an interview of him up on Instagram the other day of him and The Rock. And The Rock was like, Andrew, it's always so good to see you. Oh my God, are you still boating? Asked him this very specific question about his life. And I was like, does The Rock have a Devil Wears Prada person behind him at remembering and writing notes and being like, okay, next you're going to talk to Andrew. The last time you saw him was 2013 when you were on a boat together and he said his dad was a boater. That's fucking crazy next level shit, right?
Unless he has a photographic memory, which he might, but I'm sure he has somebody in his ear.
He also is the same person when he's working on a movie set. They schedule every single day around his morning workout.
Wow.
So he will not go to set until he has had his full official workout, allegedly. And I don't even think I have to say allegedly. So yeah, he seems like a very disciplined person. And those people, it's almost like striving for perfection everywhere.
That seems exhausting.
Exhausting.
No, thank you.
Seems like a control issue.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I have a great good week, bad week. Okay, so first my good week. So this is from Halloween, but I've been saving it up to tell you, sorry. So it's Halloween Eve. Okay, it's 6:30. It's just starting to be dusk. And Chris and I took Callie for a walk. So we're walking, and usually we walk up the hill into the wilderness where there's just a dirt path. But this day, Chris said, I want to take you a different way. And we're going to go through the neighborhood because we wanted to see if we could see any kids trick-or-treating, if we could see the houses lit up, the jack-o'-lanterns lit, It's going to be exciting.
Yep.
So we went right out of my house, down the hill, and then down into the neighborhood. And as we're walking, I see a black, I think it was a Range Rover, but it was matte colored. And it's driving towards me, and it has a black license plate with yellow letters on it. And the license plate says B space Pitt, Pitt.
Oh,
and
shit.
then I see it from far away, and I was like, oh my God, do you think it's Brad Pitt? And then the driver comes by. The driver looks exactly like fucking Brad Pitt, but he's wearing a Batman mask, the old school, like 1970s Batman mask, just where it does your hand. It's the floppy hair, a little bit greasy. It's the scruff. This is fucking Brad Pitt. And then I'm walking the rest of the walk. I'm like, Chris, is there any reason in the world where Brad Pitt would have a Range Rover
that says Brad Pitt,
drive it, and he would have the license plate be Pitt on it?
Was it a G-Wagon or a Range Rover?
Maybe it was like a G-Wagon. It was like one of those like fancy, boxy, rich person.
Yes, I'm having trouble.
My fave.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm like, does Brad Pitt drive his car, and does he just... And Chris is like, there's no way he would have a license plate that says Brad Pitt on it. I was like, I know, but he's so famous. He knows that people aren't going to leave him alone. What if he just like, is just like, if I'm driving the Brad Pitt car, I know I'm going to be seen. I want to be seen. This is like, I'm not trying to hide. Like maybe he's just so sick of people following him, like hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But is he like that type of a celeb? Does he?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know Brad Pitt. So then I'm like, and also this road that this man Brad Pitt is going up is a dead end. There's nothing at the top. It ends and then you have to turn around. So I know all the cars. Like my neighbor has this navy blue Range Rover. The neighbor beside me has like a black car that has a reputation like Taylor Swift thing. I don't know. Anyway, so I know all the cars in my neighborhood. There's only 4 houses above me. So I'm like, where the is Batman Pitt going? So then I'm on my walk the next day, the day after Halloween. And I see that Jason Oppenheim is selling the house at the very top of the hill. There's a sign that says like for sale, Jason Oppenheim. And that's Chrishell's boyfriend, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my fucking God, it was Brad Pitt. He's going to buy this fancy ass house at the top of the hill from Jason Oppenheim. So I call Oppenheimer, whatever. Okay. So I text Chrishell like a fucking loser. And I was like, hi, I know this is really stupid, but I swear to God, I saw Brad Pitt in a Batman mask coming to look at the house yesterday. It's the house on the top of the street. Jason's selling it. And she goes, well, I hardly think Brad Pitt's going to live in the valley, but let me...
Oh my God.
So she checks and she says, I can confirm it was not Brad Pitt did not go look at that house. I'm still convinced it was Brad Pitt. He did not.
Do you think it was
house.
a Brad Pitt impersonator?
That's what Chris said. Chris said this is a Brad Pitt impersonator. Because a Brad Pitt impersonator is like the same level as a magician, and they would have a fucking like license plate that says magic time.
Yeah. Someone in LA has seen this guy and knows this story. I want a follow-up. So if you get any DMs, I want to know. But I can't believe that you texted Chrishell.
I know. I'm such a fucking loser. And like literally the last time I talked to her, she was we were in Fashion Week in New York, and I was like, hey, like we're here, let's grab dinner. And she was like, okay. And then she was like, do you want to come out for drinks? I'm like, I'm already in bed. It was like 9. Like I should have just gone to say hi to her, but I'm like a fucking loser. So I didn't. And then the next, like, I'm that person out of the blue is like, hey, sorry to bother you, but
is Brad Pitt getting this house? Is Brad Pitt going to be my neighbor?
Is Brad Pitt buying a house in the valley, the deep valley? Oh, anyway.
Oh my God.
All right. When we come back, someone who's not living in the deep valley.
This episode of LadyGang is brought to you by Travis Matthew. It's time to shop for the men in your life for the holiday season. Is it your father-in-law? Is it your father? Is it your brother? Is it your uncle? Is it your lover? Is it your son? Well, Travis Matthew is the perfect apparel for him. Sometimes it's tough to find a gift for the guys for the holidays, and that's why Travis Matthew has this entire gift guide where you can browse gifts for him by price point or through curated collections tailored to interest and personality. They've got button-ups, polos, ultra soft loungewear, shoes, accessories, gear for golfers, and so much more. It's a one-stop shop for all the men in your life. And right now, I want to tell you about the perfect polo. What if you could find him the one polo that does it all? Crafted for effortless style and sophisticated simplicity, the Zinna from Travis Matthew is that perfect polo. Versatile for work or for play, Travis Matthew's perfect polo delivers everything he needs, no matter the occasion. Visit a Travis Mathew retail store or make your way to travismathew.com/podcast and take 20% off your Travis Mathew order when you use the code LADY20 at checkout. That's 20% off your entire order at travismathew.com/podcast when you use the code LADY20 at TravisMathew.com/podcast. Go get your polo.
Today's episode is brought to you by Huzzah. So, in the holidays, I think that we all kind of indulge a little bit more than we usually do the rest of the year. And if you just want to make yourself feel a little good amongst all the Thanksgiving dinners and all of that, you need to check out Huzzah. So to get the most out of your fall, Huzzah is a refreshing seltzer that has benefits. Made with probiotics for gut health, living your best life never tasted so good. So Huzzah is a refreshing, flavorful seltzer with added probiotics and 3 grams of sugar or less, and it helps put the exclamation point in your day. And everything's more fun when you feel your best, and that's why I love drinking Huzzah so much. They add probiotics to their seltzer to help support a healthy gut, as feeling good on the inside helps you live vibrantly on the outside. And they have these amazing flavors: raspberry and lemon, strawberry and hibiscus, and my favorite, juicy pear, which is crisp and bursting with flavor. So get ready to fill your fridge by stocking up on Huzzah probiotic seltzer by using code LADY for 20% off your order at drinkhuzzah.com. That's code LADY for 20% off at drinkhuzzah.com.
This episode of LadyGang is brought to you by Olipop. As you know, I have been trying to quit traditional soda for a very, very long time, and I may have just found the secret sauce, guys, in Olipop. They sent us a huge case. We got to try every single flavor, and I'm in love. They have classic root beer, orange squeeze, cherry vanilla, strawberry vanilla, their newest flavor, classic grape, and most importantly, vintage cola. And the vintage cola has just 2 grams of sugar. So unlike traditional sodas that have so much sugar, corn syrup, artificial ingredients, aspartame, stuff that's not good for you, Olipop is the fastest growing functional beverage brand in America because it's actually good for you. It tastes like soda. It feels like soda. It gives you that same open the can, so fresh, so cold, so delicious like soda, but it's actually good for you. And we've worked out a special deal for our listeners. Receive 20% off plus free shipping on your order. Recommend trying to get the variety pack so you can figure out what you love more, the vintage cola or the root beer. Going to be a vintage cola. So head on over to drinkolipop.com/LadyGang or use the code LadyGang at checkout to claim this deal. That's DRINKOLIPOP.com/LadyGang. Plus, it's available at over 6,000 stores.
Now back to the Lady Gang.
Our guest today isn't a regular mom. She's a cool mom, a former model and trainer. She met and married her hubby in New York City, started her family, was a dance mom to daughter Charlie and a BMX mom to daughter Dixie. Little did she know she would be launched into reality show and red carpet fame when she ended up birthing 2 of the biggest global TikTok sensations of all time. Today, we're going to dig inside of her life, but I already want you to know I know a few things. She has a Dunkin' Donuts coffee on tap at her house. Her garage is organized in a way that even a K-type would be jealous of. And she makes 40s look sexy as hell. A true inspiration. Please welcome to the Lady Gang, Heidi D'Amelio.
Hi. Thank you for having me. That
Welcome.
was quite an intro. Whoa.
Now I want to see your garage.
I need to know about the Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Okay. Well, we don't have it anymore. It was like a cold brew is very, it's a whole thing. And we had it, and then you have to bring it to the Dunkin' Donuts to fill it. And you can only keep it for a couple days. And Carly was the only one that drank it. I don't even drink coffee, which is funny. But, and so it became like too much to handle. So we kind of just like ordered Dunkin' Donuts on like Postmates or whatever. But it was really cool. It had the tap on it, the whole thing. It was like, we had it like set up like in a little coffee area in our house. It was very cute, but
very MTV Cribs.
Very.
It is what
Cribs.
you would expect from TikTok stars. You know what I mean? Very on brand.
right.
Yes.
Okay. And then let's talk about the garage. So I went over to their house to do an interview with the family for the launch. I think it was for the launch of the Hulu show. This is like a year ago. Because of COVID, they had kept us all downstairs kind of like on the driveway and in the garage, and then brought us up to like do the interview when it was interview time. And I'm standing there and I'm like, oh, this probably isn't even in their house. You know, like a lot of times it's like, it's a house that like someone else is shooting at or whatever. And I look, and like the entire wall of the garage, you guys, is like clear bins. Each one has a label, but like, I'm sorry to like throw your shit out there, Heidi, but it's like Charlie's dance costumes, 1999. Dixie's singing video. Like it is
oh my God.
So meticulous. Bring me into your brain and your organizational skills.
As much as I would love to take credit for all of that, that is Mark. That is how his brain functions.
Shut up.
And I do want to say, I'm actually a little embarrassed that you saw this garage with the bins because it is nowhere near where we want it to be. We're literally in the process of redoing the whole thing. When we moved out from our house in Connecticut, I wish you could have seen that. I'll have to find pictures and send it to you. And I really think if you like peeled back, this is what Mark's brain looks like. Everything is like organized and clear bins. Cause we had bins all, you get a bin from here or there, all different. He was like, no, we went in all new bins, all matching. They stack the whole thing. It's pretty insane. But I will take credit for when we moved from Connecticut to LA, I did take the time and I broke things down because like I had like all of Charlie's stuff and all of Dixie stuff and a lot of their stuff combined. And I'm like, at some point they're going to move out and want to take their own stuff. So I separated everything and each of my kids' stuff is organized by bin. Charlie baby, Dixie baby, Dixie child, Charlie child, teen, current, like, all the different things. That just makes me feel really good because my mom did that for me. I'm the youngest of 4 girls and she did that for all of us. And it's so nice to have that, like, all nice and neat handed to you.
Wow.
It's true.
So that is Mark, I have to give him the credit. He's like that guy.
Oh, that's a dream.
I know.
Okay. So I have a couple more questions. So I didn't really realize that you had show business in your background. Like I was like, oh my God, how is she staying so cool with these kids and like being in show business and filming a reality show? But like you had kind of done modeling and had been like in the rounds, right?
Yes. So I was a super, super shy kid. I mean, I was like latched onto my mom's leg way longer than I'd like to admit. And then I was just super shy. And then when I was graduating high school, I started modeling. There was like a local modeling agency. And I was just like, whoa, I found something that I'm really good at. Anyway, I did my first job in New York City was runway, which I was like, okay, I could die now. I'm good. Wow. I did runway in New York City. It was nothing big, but it was really cool. I think it was at Terminal 5 and I opened the show. Because I was like good at it. I was good at runway. But anyway, so that was my thing. And it never paid the bills, but I worked and I did a lot of cool jobs. But I was a personal trainer. That paid the bills. Mm-hmm. So that was like my thing. But I was modeling in New York City. And there's like all different definitions of that. And I wasn't like high fashion editorial runway kind of thing that you think. Yeah. But there's consistent work out there. So it was fun. So that was my little thing in entertainment.
And now you guys just got picked up for a season 2, which is massive because when we had our television show, we only had 1 season and we know what it felt like to get canceled after that first season. And it's a real fucking bummer, Heidi. So congratulations. You're not a loser like us. Will you change the way you approach it now that you've been through it? Because I'm sure you learn a lot.
I think, listen, the show, what you saw was a sign of the times. And I think a lot of families were dealing with the same thing. A lot of teenagers, a lot of married people, a lot of single people, like just dealing with everything that comes with being locked in your house for months on end. So that was that. And then obviously added to that is that their growth on social media. So it's after people saw the show and they would come up to us like just the most sincere love and like, oh my God, please tell your girls how much we love them. And like, they don't deserve the hate and all this stuff. And it was amazing to hear that love. And mostly it was like, I feel like that too. And like, it made me feel like I wasn't alone. I mean, does it get better than that? Like to see that you touched people like in that way for the girls. So that was amazing. But at the same time, it's like, there's so much better now, just like you are. These people that would come up to us that we're out in New York City and we're walking around and life is happening again. Like you're doing better, but they're also doing better. And people don't know that. They kind of are still in that feeling like they're like that. And so I think season 2 is again going to be a sign of the times. Like Dixie's going on tour. Charlie has some amazing things coming up. So it's just us as a family and settling into our house. I'm just now going to do a house tour video because we're just settling in to all of this that's happening. And it's hard to like put that into, well, this season 2 is going to be this. It's just going to be what's happening. And it's all like super exciting and fun. And we're embracing where we are.
Well, I wanted to say, I watched all of season 1 and I kind of just threw it on being like, I'm just going to watch something on Hulu. It'll be like the next Kardashians. That's kind of how it was like promoted. But I really appreciate how in depth it got with all of your daughter's mental health and all the struggles that they went through just being on social media, because I'm sure that any kid growing up right now can resonate with that, because even if you have 100 followers or 100 million followers, you're still going to have that anxiety and all of that like constant bombardment of, people judging you or watching you, really, really affect your mental health. So I thought that was really interesting that you guys showed all of that, because I thought it would just be like, here's the D'Amelios, doing fun dances and like having a good time and being like in pretty dresses. And it really wasn't that. It was the other side of their lives. And I think that was really important for a lot of people to see how social media really, really affects, especially young adults like growing up.
Yeah. And, that was the beauty. And the 4 of us being executive producers was we told them from the beginning, like, if you think this is going to be a show of like, there's going to be a lot of drama within the family. We're clinging on to each other. And this is where we are in our life. And I think everybody was very surprised because I think they thought very much like you. And we didn't really know what it was going to be like. We knew we wanted it to be a document of what was happening. We didn't want it to be this, we're going to set up these fun things for you to do. It's just like, also we were stuck in our house. We couldn't go out and film, right, and do all these cool things. And so it was just, that was happening. What it didn't show, which, you guys know, it's like you have months of footage that you got to get here. And so we did have a lot of fun and like cutting up and like all the good stuff too. But you obviously can't show everything, but it was a heavy time. It really was. And so we're just like everyone else, happy to be going out again and living life as much as we can. And we're ready to show that too.
So I have 3 very important questions that I've been dying to ask you, because when TikTok began, I also started as a former dancer wanting to do the dances on TikTok. And for a while, I was doing the cute dances on TikTok. And Jack and Becca were really embarrassed when I would dance kind of sexy, like when I do the hip swirls. And then my thought today was like, well, what does mom think when she sees her 2 teenage daughters being sexy? And it's like, what the hell do you do as a mom? Because when I was grinding on a boy in the woods when I was 17, in high school, my mom wasn't there watching it. Neither were millions of people. So what goes through your mind?
And how many creeps are out there in the world.
Yes, and like Dixie has a song, Boy, like I haven't even sworn in front of my parents yet. Like
and I'm almost 50.
Right. Like it's a different generation. Yeah. So how do you mother that?
Okay. So I will go back to when TikTok when the girls first got on the app, which is probably spring of 2019. I knew Musical.ly before that. And
right.
Charlie had put a few videos on there and it kind of the app itself never really became a thing. People were embarrassed to be seen on it. And then when it turned over, it became more of a thing. And when she would like, look, my friends and I made this on our at break or whatever at school. And I'm like, it wasn't even the movements yet at the time were still pretty whatever. It was the the language in the songs that they're lip syncing. And I'm like, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? Nuts. This is no. So this was my reaction. And this was Mark's reaction. If she were an actor in, let's say, a Quentin Tarantino movie, and those were the lines, she would say them. Those aren't her words. She's playing a character on this app.
Interesting.
So we were like on opposite ends of like, so there were some though, even he was like, all right, dude, you got to take this down. Like this is so, and then what this kind of freaks me out a little bit is that I kind of got used to it. I listened to Two Live Crew in high school. So I'm not like,
right.
These young kids, so I'm like right with you. It was just weird to see your 15-year-old say, mouthing these lyrics or whatever. And then I feel like the moves got more whatever as time went on. And so that was like, but I mean, we make them take some stuff down for sure. And it's like, for me, it was like, oh, what's my poor mom, like I don't want her to like judge my kids. Like that's not who they are in real life. They're just doing whatever. So that was a little slow to get comfortable with it. And then when you see, like when you see them making these TikTok dances, it's like they're doing it. And like, like the second it ends, you run up to see what it looks like. And then they're like, she trips over the dog and there's like, I gotta pee. And, it's like, she's not that person. You know what I mean? It's just choreography. But she started doing, these, she would go to these pop-up hip hop classes in New York City at 10. And so she's been dancing to these lyrics for years. Right. And she's like, Mom, she was 10. She would tell me, Mom, I just want you to know in my head, I'm singing so I can like do the things, but I'm not going to say them out loud.
I was going to say, like when Becca and I were in New York in our 20s, and Becca ended up on Broadway, and like I did SNL and music videos, and we couldn't show the Fergie performance to my father because I didn't want him to know that my hips could move like that. You know what I mean? But that's not who I am. I'm like just a nerdy ass girl. So I'm really digesting what you're saying, Heidi, because it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good point, Kelty, because I think about dancing on banquettes, like really just one step away from being a stripper in my 20s and barely making money. So if it meant being even less of a stripper and making way more money, I would be on board if that had been my opportunity.
Right. If we had the chance, we would have been so great at TikTok.
Yeah. I wouldn't have to
I
be
would have had to go dance on 34th Street at the Playboy Club.
Groped by a gross, like older man. But the other thing too is growing up, I just remember our era of high school was Britney Spears. And if we had all had a platform to take on our own Britney persona and do our own music videos, you better believe that a lot of girls our age would have been doing the exact same thing. We just did not have the ability to get it out into the world.
We were all doing it still. It was just in our living rooms in front of our parents.
Yeah,
really
humiliating.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true. But, to that whole thing about the moves and whatever, there's this woman on TikTok and I can't think of her name right now. She just had a baby maybe a few months ago. She's a school teacher. She wears like sweatpants and like this, right? But she's such a good dancer. And she doesn't like fit the mold of like these, teenage, like whatever bodies and whatever. She's just like living her life. She's such a good dancer and she goes all in and she's got, I think she's verified now. Like she's amazing. She's a school teacher. Like she's not that person. Like she's
right.
But she happens to be able to do that. And it looks really good. So here we are.
I personally have become very obsessed with TikTok and love those things about it because it takes people from obscurity who have really special gifts, whether it's like dancing or comedy. And you don't have to have mommy and daddy buy you a plane ticket to move to New York City to audition. You can actually do it in your living room and for $0. I think that's an amazing thing that this app has given. And I never thought I'd say it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second most important question is it crazy for you again to have your daughter in the music video for a song? And I think the song's about her. And it's like this guy and he's like got the chains on his neck and the nail polish. Like, oh my God, but they're probably just like losers in sweatpants on Friday nights, right?
I mean, same thing. Like if you saw him in real life, like he is very much into like the hair and the fashion and he is that person, but you know, he just is like, he comes from a great family. His parents are elementary school teachers.
That's cute.
Sisters. Like he's like, doesn't have like a bad bone in his body. Like he's so kind and sweet and like mush, you know? And so like, it's not even, you know, I was on set when they did that video and they're like, in between, they're like, you know, it's just not.
Okay. Cause it seems like he's the bad boy. And I was like, ooh, what does Heidi think about the bad? Like, how do you mother? Cause you have to go through the bad boy stage. I had a boyfriend when I was 16 who had a car. I mean, I was like 15 and he had a car and he had long hair. And my parents were like, oh my God, like, how do we have to let her do this part of her life? But like, so you're not like, oh my God.
Person and the other stuff is, I mean, that is like how he dresses in real life, but you know, it's not as like, I'm gonna like,
sensation.
Like, it's just like, he's like a really nice boy and he's a really nice girl and they're, you know, so it's kind of just that. And they are, you know, she was the first person she met when she came to LA and that was 2 years ago. It's crazy.
Wow.
So, she is a cool mom, you guys. My mom would be like, you're not leaving the house. I'm locking you in this room.
I think this actually gives me a lot of hope because I am very scared that as you have your own children and as you just experience more life, I'm like, am I going to just be that person who can't remember what it's like to be young and who can't accept, you know, these parts of growing up that are just the reality of being a human on this planet. And so it seems like you have a really healthy relationship with wanting to take care of them and being their mother, but also at the same time, remembering what it's like to be young and not putting so much like judgment on it almost.
I have evolved and it's taken me time to get here, but I will say from very early on, Mark has been really good at that. He's like, dude, I remember being that age, whether it was 5 or 10 or 15. He was like, you know, I was a 5-year-old, like under the table at Thanksgiving, like pulling everybody's napkins and like being, and everybody's like, Mark, get out from under the table. Like it is what it is. And then the next phase. And so he's always good to remind me of, you know, what were we doing? Like, they're going to be okay. They have a good support system. We've taught them by showing them like relationships and friendships and family. And that's all we can do. Like, you can't control another person. Obviously we're like, okay, I mean, it's a little different now. Dixie's on her own. Charlie's older, but you know, we were pretty strict on them in other ways. Like, you have to, ways that we felt were going to help them beyond living in our house, which is, you know, being a team player, helping out around the house. Like, if this person, you know, this week, this person needs a little extra support, and next week it might be you, and you're going to want that. And so I think that was kind of our parenting, but he does still to this day have to remind me, remember when you were that age, just gotta let it go through. I'm like, you're right. So I've been better at listening to that. So it's taken me time, but I'm getting there.
Oh, I love you.
Also, teenage girls, there's nothing more evil.
Oh my God.
I mean, teenage girls were
Pre-teens.
evil. Oh my God. And yours are sweet, but God.
They are really sweet.
Like a teenage girl. Is there anything worse than
growing,
I'm not evil. Being a teenage girl? Like, you're just fucking evil.
It definitely comes across how good your family is and how supportive of everybody you are and how well that you've raised your girls. Like, it comes across
so congrats.
very strong.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Next, third important question. You have a big birthday in January, and I have a big birthday in January too. So it's big 50, right?
Yes.
And I'm turning 40. So I'm freaking out about 40. And you're freaking out about 50, or are you feeling good about it? You look hot as shit.
I know. Yeah.
I am not freaking out about it. I always kind of felt like, I know it's so cliche, it's just a number, but something someone said probably 25 years ago, and I don't know why it stuck in my head. And this could be just total bullshit, but it was the way you move sometimes make you look older. And I just I know it sounds silly, but like, we'll be in a room full of people, not like at a big meeting or whatever, but I'll like jump on the floor and like take off my socks and shoes. Like, I don't sit on a chair to do that. Like, I sit on the floor. I'm like, if I can still like pop on the floor and pop back up, like, I'm feeling young. I feel like I've always done this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, that was like, I'm saying it out loud. I don't know if it sounds weird.
No,
I just feel like I'm constantly like moving in a way that I imagined when I was growing up. Older people didn't move, you know, we're more like composed, and it might be immature or whatever. I don't care. I'm just like still going to be sitting on the floor, laying on the floor with my dogs, popping up, like doing all the things. And I work out a lot. I feel good. I feel like this is the best. All right, I'll be honest. This isn't the best I've ever felt in my life. I have an arm injury. Like, you definitely feel that the age, but I think emotionally and like it more in tune with myself than I've ever been in my life. And so it's exciting. I am like that looming menopause thing. I am a little scared of that. I feel in my head, I'm like, oh, I got this, but I'm like kind of scared of that. Other than that, I'm just excited. This is where, I've had growth, right? Is at the beginning of last year, I'm like, all right, when I turn 50, I'm going to be like ripped and like, I want to be just in the sickest shape ever. And I'm not what I thought I was going to be, but what I am is okay with that. And that is like, okay, where did this come from? Am I like maturing? When did that happen? But
isn't it up that it takes a woman 50 years to get to the place where she's okay?
It is. And it's all the things, conversations in your head that, play into why we're not that way sooner. But it's like, all right, I'm here now, so I'm just going to embrace it. But I'm excited. Don't be. 40s are fun.
Oh God, you don't even sound that confident saying that, Heidi.
They're great.
I was going to say, if I could do my 40s again, I would. Not to get away from 50, but the 40s are fun. The 30s
I believe it.
Fun too, though. The 20s were fun. You know what?
Gets better.
The lesson is just have fun, because the age comes and goes, and it's going to be what it is.
But the thing you said about like the physicality of a young person, it actually does make a lot of sense, especially if you're somebody that you're a trainer, you're physical, like everything is very much you're in your own body. Mm-hmm. And it is true. You do start to see, even I watched my own parents and they don't move around the world the way that they used to. And they probably still could. They just have like resigned to the fact that they're not old, young and spry. So, and there is something when you see a woman of any age with that kind of energy, you automatically assume she's just younger because it's
it's not like I do it because I want to appear that way. It's just what I feel like.
Yeah.
It feels good to like, okay, I can still do that.
Yeah.
I might be sore tomorrow, but I could still do that, and I will.
Right.
And I just, I do think, when that whole vision of getting older and what that looks like, you're moving slower and this, now I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that as much as I can, just because I think the less you do, like you were just saying, your parents, right? Whether they're consciously thinking it, they're just not doing it. And the less you do it, the less you're going to be able to do it. So I always want to like make sure, can I still do this? Can I still do this?
Well, I love this. All right. When we come back, allegedly, what's happening with our Hulu star?
We love Array here at the Lady Gang, and I can personally say that those bloat capsules are the bomb. Array is a little pill that is formulated by naturopathic doctors, and they create 100% real supplements with real results, and they're totally natural. There's 2 right now, bloat and calm, and bloat is insane. There's 5 herbs and 1 fruit-based digestive enzyme that targets bloat so you feel relief quickly. This is amazing during the holidays. You just take 2 to 3 bloat capsules immediately after your meal, whether you've just had an indulgent dinner like pizza and pasta, or if you just need overall digestion help with your favorite foods. They're laxative-free, vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, filler-free, nut-free, cruelty-free, non-habit forming, and they're delicious. So head on over. Use code LadyGang for 10% off your first order at array.com. That's ARRAE.com. Use code LadyGang for 10% off and feel better and less bloated. Array.com.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Obey Fitness. So we are officially in the throes of the holiday season, and that means you're probably very busy and you probably don't really have that much time to work out, but you need to check out Obey Fitness. So Obey is the perfect fit for any schedule, especially during this crazy holiday season, because you can choose from 10-minute express classes or a signature 28-minute workout or an all-in power hour if you just really want some you time. And Obey makes the impossible possible. They've got everything from intense HIIT classes to spicy Pilates, or my favorite, their chill yoga classes. And they're live or on demand whenever you want to do it. And the best part is you don't need any equipment. You can pop it on literally anywhere, so it's great for if you're traveling. And their fun yet fierce 10-minute express classes mean no excuses. So if you want to check out Obey, you can get a whole month for free when you go to obeyfitness.com and use code LadyGang. That's obefitness.com, code LadyGang.
There's a reason that the OmniLux LED light therapy is all the rage. Bella Hadid uses it. Kelty Knight uses it. I went back and actually got the neck LED too. I think it's an incredible product. It's so good for treating your fine lines, wrinkles, redness, pigmentation, inflammation, and acne. Overall, when I'm just like, my skin is, my face is, you put this on. And what's cool about it is you can still watch Housewives when you do it. It's portable. So you can like put the little on off button in your pocket and walk around your house, clean, do laundry, fold towels, do whatever you're going to do. It's amazing. It's backed by science, FDA cleared, requires no downtime, gives you a fabulous glow. And of course, we have a deal for you. Enjoy $50 off your first purchase with code LGHoliday. Visit OmniLuxLED.com to enjoy $50 off your purchase with code LGHoliday. This is an amazing gift. If someone's like, what do you want for the holidays? Just point them to this and tell them to use our code LGHoliday for $50 off at OmniLuxLED.com and say, this is what I would like. Thank you very much. Your skin will thank you.
Okay, ladies, can't remember the last time you wanted sex? Oh, you've got kids in the car? Oh, we'll call it ice cream. Listen, I scream, you scream, but maybe not for ice cream. Oops. If your desire for ice cream feels, well, like a rocky road, you're not alone. Millions of women have felt their libido melting away because of a medical condition known as hypoactive sexual desire disorder, or HSDD. But unlike brain freeze, HSDD can be treated. Maybe it's time to change the flavor of the day from not in the mood to libido renewed. So whether you're into plain vanilla or the queen of whipped cream, down to cone, or deciding between the big or little spoon, it's time to scream for ice cream again. Visit screamforicecreamagain.com to learn more. That's screamforicecreamagain.com.
You're listening to the Lady Gang.
All right, we're back. So on our podcast, Heidi, we have a big, huge segment called Allegedly What's Happening. It's kind of like our hot topics. So since you are now a television star and have crossed over, I know. I'm so annoying. We're going to get your take with our take. We're all going to discuss a few hot topics of the week. Most importantly, I'm going to start with Paula Abdul because Paula Abdul is my favorite of all time. So Paris Hilton got married this week, and allegedly Paula Abdul performed at the wedding. Has anyone seen a video? Do you love Paula Abdul? Can you get Paula Abdul to TikTok with me?
Oh my God.
I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen a video. I haven't even heard that.
I haven't either.
I love Paula Abdul. I wanted to be in Cold Hearted Snake so bad.
Of course, who didn't?
Hold on. Full circle. Charlie's at a dance competition. Tremaine, convention competition. Tremaine, what's her name? Megan Sinnott, I don't know how to say her last name, did Cold Hearted Snake. And I just sit, like Charlie always likes me in the room. She's like, you know, just sit, don't do anything else. I'm like, I know my role, all good.
Dance mom role.
I'm like, get over here. I said, you will learn this and you will teach it to me when we get home. So make sure you get it good. And she was like, so she's like doing the whole thing. It was the end of the day. She was tired. I was like, did you get it? Do you have it? Do you need to run it again? I've never been that long. Like I'm hands off. But that moment I was like, so then we get back to the hotel that night. I'm like, so can you just like, she's like, oh, Mom, I don't even remember. Like, I don't know. So I was like bummed about that. But I know the choreographer that did that, because Paula Abdul works with Tremaine.
Yeah.
And maybe I can get her to do a TikTok with you.
It would be Kelty's dream come true.
Did you see her new challenge? She has a new challenge.
Well, I'm sort of over it. I got to be honest with you. We've asked Paula to come on this podcast for 6 years. And last year she agreed for my birthday, which has now been a year, and she never came. And then the girls bought me a Paula Abdul cameo and she never did the cameo. Right. And
we got refunded. Yeah, we got refunded.
They got refunded. And then I did a whole bunch of Paula Abdul TikToks and she never reposts them. I feel like she reposts everyone. So I think she's scared of me at this point. And is like ignoring me. So I'm moving on. Okay, next thing.
I think you should do her new challenge because she's into it and she might repost.
Okay. One more time. Give it one more try.
Yeah, one last shot.
I'll never give up. Okay. Paul Rudd is the sexiest man alive.
I love Paul Rudd, but I have a lot of thoughts on this topic. Heidi, what about you?
I also love Paul Rudd. I also love funny. And so I do think funny is hot, but no one is funnier or hotter than Mark to me. So I don't
gosh,
on that.
I was going to say Paul Rudd is always the person that I forget is on my hall pass list. Like, because he's
so sexy,
because he's so sexual that like it skips my mind. No, I love funny too. He seems like the nicest, funniest, like he's like the guy you marry and are obsessed with for the rest of your life. So I kind of love this idea of him being the sexiest man alive. I'm very into it.
No, I just don't. I want them to be able to do the equivalent with a woman. You know what I mean? I don't think they would ever.
They would never.
They would never choose a woman who, I'm going to say it because I've got him. Paul Rudd has some short ass legs. Okay. And so do I. And I've never seen a woman be the hottest, sexiest anything with these short little child legs of mine. So I have a real hang up with that. He's very cute, but he's a very like average, pleasant looking person.
I really hope that Heidi's rep is not Paul Rudd's rep. I'm just letting you know.
No, we love Paul Rudd, but he's very like vanilla aside from the personality. But if you gave the woman, like, I'm not going to even say the equivalent because I don't want to offend anyone, but I don't think they would give the female equivalent of Paul Rudd the sexiest woman alive title because we're still not there yet. And it's kind of annoying.
And to me, Paul Rudd does not exude like, let's get down and dirty. He exudes like, let's go to Whole Foods with a coupon and giggle. Our own bags.
No, and
you know what I mean?
In Marry Kill, you marry Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, he's not Harry Styles. Like Harry Styles is like making out on the bus and then you're out. Like,
Heidi, do you have a hall pass and have you met your hall pass since you've been in LA?
I don't have a hall pass. I don't even want the thought of a hall pass. I am so good where I am in my marriage. Like I honestly, that sounds like.
What is the trick?
I just like really, 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 really like Mark, and he really, really, really likes me. I think it starts there, and then all the other stuff is just fun.
Wait, how did you guys meet?
We like each other. I was a personal trainer in New York City, and the guy that ran my gym was Mark's college roommate when they were in college. And Mark had moved into the city and gave him a free membership, and that's how we met.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay. Allegedly, what's happening? Taylor versus Adele. It's the biggest week in music of all time. So Taylor released the remake of Red, and then we get the Adele record we will have the Adele record when this airs on Tuesday. Are you guys listening to the both equally? Are you feeling more Adele-y? Are you feeling more Taylor-y?
I'm so bad at these. I'm gotta say equally. And I do mean that. Like, I'm just like a cheerleader of both. So, and I love both of the music. So I'm not good for this one.
Jack, are you listening to Adele's record? Or are you listening to Taylor's record?
Honestly, neither. I'm not a fan of either of them that much, but I did just watch recently. I'm very behind the times on most things in life, but I did just watch Taylor's documentary, that Miss Americana.
It's from so like good. 2 years ago. Okay.
From like 2 years ago. And I'm like, I love her now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was good.
I never understood her in that way. But I do wish that I listened to Taylor Swift more so I could pick up on all these Easter eggs. It's like a true crime thing. You're like trying to pick up on all the clues in her song.
Scarf.
So I wish I was.
My favorite thing is Diane Warwick has like this iconic Twitter account where she just like
Dion, right?
Dion. Yeah. Sorry. And she was like, whoever has that scarf should give it back. Should mail that girl her scarf back. She'll like, I'll pay postage, Jake. So scandalous. Okay. Oh, Becca, are you Taylor? Are you listening to Taylor? Are you listening to Adele?
I'm not really in the mood for either right now.
You're happy.
I'm not alone.
No, I'm just not in the mood. I think they're both insanely talented, but I'm just not, too emotional for me.
Okay, last thing. Paris Hilton got married. She had a 3-day wedding celebration. I know you guys saw the dress online. I thought she looked freaking stunning. And we have our own bride-to-be, Jack Vanek. And Jack, would you ever consider a high neck, high arm princess dress to go in a dip? I was not expecting a Princess Grace moment from Paris Hilton. I don't know what I was expecting.
I mean, that dress was unbelievable, though. If I looked like that in that dress, then yes, I would wear it. Yeah, I would wear that if somebody wanted to gift it to me like they did to her and have it custom made and look gorgeous. Like it looked like a Barbie doll. I would love it.
She did 4 dress changes. Are you going to do dress changes?
I will.
Yeah.
It's like the best time to do it.
And Heidi, have you renewed your vows yet?
No, we haven't. We just want to have another party. Yeah. But we're like, our vows are solid, so I don't know if we need to renew them. But
don't you want to wear like a new dress?
Oh yeah, I want to see if I can get my wedding dress. I don't know that I can get my wedding dress, but I'd like to try. No, but this is what I'll say about the Paris Hilton wedding, and I love her, and I've met her many times, and she's so sweet to the girls. So no hate or anything. I wanted to see more pictures of her with her husband. I felt like there were a lot of pictures of her with other people. And I was like, that's kind of the point, is to like, and I think she lives in a world unlike most people. And that's just part of it is, all the things, but I would be just like with my husband, so that was the only thing I think, but she looked amazing.
You know what though? I have a theory on this and I agree with you. I was like, it's so strange that like, the first 5 posts that she made were just her solo, like a fashion show. But I have a theory on this. Okay, she married a normie. I am also married to a normie, and
isn't her husband like extremely rich?
Sure. I'm not saying like normie, like he's not a show
famous celebrity. Yeah.
Yes. He's not a celebrity. He does not want to be in the photo. Right. My husband does not want to be in the fucking photo either. And he never wants to be in the photo, did not want to be in our wedding photos, is barely in our wedding video, avoids the camera like the plague.
We tried to find a picture of us and our partners yesterday for something for our podcast, Heidi, and Kelty could not find a picture of her and Chris. I had to go back
for the past almost a year and a half. To get a picture of Chris and I together.
That makes
So I have a thought that who is the perfect person for a Kelty night, a Paris Hilton? It's a guy that's like, I want nothing to fucking do with your shiny ass life. I'm going to treat you normal. I want us to be normal, and you go be fabulous, baby. And I'll be on the side clapping for you. And I think that's what it is, because I also noticed that. And I was like, you know, there's two types of girls. There's people that are like at my wedding, or at our wedding, you know, there's two types of weddings. And you're always like, when people are like, it's my wedding, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Like, it's actually you're together. It's a partnership. But I think that's what it is. I think he is content to let her shine. Maybe.
I love that. I didn't think about that because, but it makes sense.
Totally. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Don't you think? Okay. All right. So very last question. This is a TikTok question just for us. I heard dancing is over on TikTok, and now we're into the comedy mantra, like voiceover era of TikTok. Are we losers if we're still dancing? Like, are the girls still dancing?
Kelty needs to know.
Charlie is still dancing. Dixie was never really the dancing girl. I think like anything is going to have waves, but I think if you're still searching for those dances, they're there. And I also feel like it's definitely spilled over. Like, I see so much dancing on Instagram now, more than ever.
Yeah.
And in real life and in media outside of the platforms, is like, I love that it's everywhere. So I think dancing is still a thing. I think it should be always still a thing, but I think maybe the rise of the other stuff makes it feel less. Yeah.
Sexy dances for me. I'm back, bitches. Listen, Heidi, we're so excited to have you on. And for all you podcast listeners out there, you can listen to The Other D'Amelios, which is Mark and Heidi's podcast, every week, wherever you get your podcasts. I love your voice. I love your whole vibe. Like, I love that you admit that you're trying to grow and learn and figure it all out and are not perfect, which is like a dream come true. And you already follow Heidi on Instagram and TikTok, but if you want to, you can follow her at Heidi D'Amelio. We're so excited for you. You're the coolest mom. You give us hope to be hot in our 40s, mostly me, because these girls are still like mid 30s. And we weren't here for,
no, it's a see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social at Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.
I am Lola Blanc, host of Trust Me, Cults, Extreme Belief, and the Abuse of Power right here on Podcast One. Do you think someone in your life is a narcissist? Find out on our recent episode with Dr. Ramani Durvasula.
Every narcissistic relationship is a two-person cult. All the grooming characteristics, everything that happens to a member of a cult is exactly what happens to somebody who gets into and gets stuck in a narcissistic relationship.
Get new episodes of Trust Me every Wednesday on Podcast One, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.